Bug, good morning, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, guys. How y'all doing?
How about that? How was Monday night? It was probably pretty cool for you to just drive right down the street for your job that takes you all over the country to broadcast football games, which is a pretty good gig. But for you on Monday night, it had to be especially special.
Well, it was definitely special, man. I played for three coaches, or actually two coaches in my NFL career. Dungy was twice. And just the impact that Tony Dungy had on not only my professional career, but just me as a person and growing up as a man, as a husband, as a father. He just showed you how you could do things and do it the right way. You don't always have to dog cuss a player out to get him to play at a high level. You don't always have to yell and scream to get the job done. And I think the character and the personality of the man just speaks volumes that, he didn't win the championship here in Tampa, but you could make an argument he's the most revered coach that this town has ever had, and I think that says a lot.
Yeah, Gruden just kind of came in and maybe got you all over the finish line, but then I was always happy that Dungy went on to go win one in Indy. I guess you were there for that as well. Boog, the big question with Tampa right now is the quarterback position. Jameis Winston's suspension is up. Ryan Fitzpatrick, look, if they had won that game and they were 3-0 right now, there would be no question. I think, though, with the 3 interceptions, including a pick 6, although he almost led him on the comeback, what do you think happens? What decision do the Bucs make at quarterback for next Sunday?
To me, this is really easy. Ryan Fitzpatrick had probably one of his poor games. He still threw for over 400 yards, and they still almost won.
Yep.
Look at the 3 picks. One was tipped, one the receiver ran the wrong route, and one was on Fitzpatrick. So, not making excuses, but I think he's earned the right to continue being the starter. And on top of that, think about this, guys. Jameis is not ready. I mean, the guy's been out of football for 3 weeks. Yeah, he's been practicing and playing and, throwing the ball around, but he hasn't been up to NFL game speed. So even if they wanted to put him back in, I don't think they can. So I'm starting Ryan Fitzpatrick this week, and then we'll see where we are during the bye week, which they have after Chicago.
Were you watching Brees and Ryan or Tiger on Sunday?
I mean, I think you already know the answer to that. I was watching Tiger and just hoping that Brees and Ryan maybe went into quadruple overtime, if that's possible, where I could continue watching them.
Is he back?
You know what? I think he's swinging the club as good as he ever has. It was good to see him win. I think the confidence is back now. Whether or not that can translate to multiple wins next year, we'll find out. But I just think it was good for golf. And if you look at the ratings, think about this. The Tour Championship last year got like a 2-1. The Tour Championship this year got like a 7-8.
What?
It just shows you Tiger Woods doesn't just move the needle, guys. He is the needle. And I'll make this statement. I think in my lifetime, and I've been living 40 years, I think he is the most must-watch athlete that I've ever seen around the world, because he can bring young, old, black, white, it doesn't matter. He brings them all to the television for a number of reasons, and I think he still does it, even in his mid-40s, and I think he'll continue to do it just because I think this generation wants to see. I don't know if they want to see it, but I think this generation is just glued to the possibility of what he may do on any given Sunday.
I just thought about the scenes that he's created in the PGA. It brought me back 20 years ago when he started on tour at the Phoenix Open, when he holed out there on 17 and he's walking up the fairway with the entire gallery behind him, and how cool of an image that was when he was walking up that 18th green on Sunday at the championship. I mean, to see Rory McIlroy kind of sprint out of the way to give Tiger that moment, and just the flood of people behind him was it was just a cool image and a cool moment for golf, and I know that they're capitalizing on it. All right, back to Ryan and Brees in the NFC South. Just stellar quarterback play, not really good defense in that game. But what did you make of that Saints-Falcons matchup that went into OT and the Saints eventually pulling it out?
Well, I just think it was a big win for the Saints, and Drew Brees. How about him? Getting physical and running the ball in. I'm like, man, who is this guy? For the Saints, especially early in the season, I think it's important for them to continue to get off to a good start, get some good confidence. Drew Brees, we're looking forward to having him in a couple of weeks on Monday night, and he's going to have a possibility to break the record that night. I think the Saints have to continue to get better defensively. I mean, they won, but anytime you give up 30-plus points, to me, that's an issue.
Yeah.
And I think, when it's all said and done, I think the New Orleans Saints are going to be right there at the end, guys.
Yeah, here's a crazy stat book. Since 2006, when Sean Payton got there, the Saints have gained more yards and allowed more yards than any team in the NFL. The defense has got to improve.
It's almost as if they don't really care about defense sometimes.
It's almost like like a Big 12 attitude put into NFL form. One more on Brees here, because what I witnessed Sunday was just unbelievable, and especially because it's your arch rival. It's in their home city. There's a lot of division implications already on the line. NFC South, only division with 3 winning teams right now. But you played with a legendary quarterback in Peyton Manning. What does it feel like being a player on a team with one of these transcendent Hall of Fame quarterbacks?
You know what you want to do? You want to get to the sideline, talk to your defensive coach, get the adjustments, and then you just go stand and watch. I found myself in Tampa. I just sat on the bench and waited till they said, "Hey, defense is up." When I got to Indy, I stood on the edge of the sideline because I want to see what 18 was going to do.
Wow.
Because you realize that every time he goes out there, he's making history. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, top 5 to 6. Speaking of Peyton Manning, who I played with, I think Drew Brees is going to be, in that top 10 of all time. And so it's just a treat to sit and watch and just be enamored by greatness. And I think you only get a chance to do that in a couple spots. New England with Brady, Green Bay with Rodgers, New Orleans with Brees, maybe Phillip Rivers now. Just to see greatness personified, to me, that's special.
You'll be at Broncos Stadium at Mile High Monday night for Chiefs and Broncos for your next broadcast coming up on Monday night. What about Pat Mahomes?
Yeah, for real.
Off to a good start. 13 touchdowns through 3 games. That's like a record in the Super Bowl era. Let's see what he does when he faces a little bit of adversity, though, because this thing is not going to just continue to steamroll where he throws, 55 touchdowns this year. At some point, he's going to throw a couple of picks early in the game, and then what happens? All right, this is pro football. This is only his 4th start. So here's what's happening right now. In your 4th start, that means there's 4 tapes out there that people are going to watch what you're doing and see how you're having success. They're going to find out your strengths and locate your weaknesses. And when they do that, they're going to come up with a game plan and say, okay, let's take this and this away and see what he does. And then he's going to have to make another adjustment. To me, that's what pro football is about. He hasn't gotten to that point yet, but I'm looking forward to watching it before I crown him the greatest quarterback of all time. But he has gotten off to a great start, but I'm looking forward to watching him, especially with Mr. Von Miller and Bradley Chubb and Shane Ray coming after him on Monday night.
For sure, and a surprising 2-1 record there for the Broncos going into that Monday night matchup with Booger Mcfarland and the rest of the crew on the call. All right, Ole Miss coming into Tiger Stadium on Saturday night, one of the great rivalries in the Southeastern Conference in college football. It fits DBU versus NWO, the Nasty Whiteouts. How do you like the matchup coming up this Saturday night, 8:15 kickoff in Death Valley?
Well, I don't like the matchup from that perspective because here's why. Because football is now geared toward the offense. And if they're going to call this game the way we've seen football be called as far as DBs and wideouts, the LSU's at a disadvantage because they got 3 wideouts that are premier playmakers. And I don't know if you can play them man-to-man. LSU's going to play a lot of man-to-man. And so, for me, they're going to have to get pressure on the quarterback because if you allow Tamu to sit back there and throw one-on-one shots, A.J. Brown and Lodge and Metcalf, you're asking for trouble. LSU's got some talent back there, but this talent is still relatively unproven other than Greedy Williams. So I do not like the matchup of DBU against whatever you call them, NWO, Wideout Central, whatever they want to call themselves. I think LSU's going to have to assert itself in the front 7. This cannot be a game where Tamu gets off clean throws because Ole Miss has the capability of putting up 35 or 40. I don't know if LSU, even if they play great offensively, I don't know if they can put up 35 or 40 against SEC caliber talent. So to me, this game comes down to really, really simple. If you're at home watching this game or you're at Tiger Stadium, how many hits, how much pressure can they get on Tamu? If they get a lot, then this game could be relatively easy. If they don't, then, hell, La Tech put up 24, 27. Ole Miss can put up a hell of a lot more than that.
Have a great call Monday night, man. Thanks.